Hi, I'm Wilson. For those of you who don't know, the Philippines are going to hold large-scale elections on Monday, May 9th, including electing a new president. Now, I'm sure a lot of you are thinking, that's great and all, but I'm not in the Philippines, nor am I Filipino, so why should I care? First off, that's a very narrow-minded view of the world you have. Second, geopolitics. The Philippines, along with other Southeast Asian countries, are currently engaged in what can best be described as a massive world-ending game of chicken. China has claimed rights to almost all of the South China Sea, including territorial waters of the Philippines. If not handled properly by all involved and the international community, the situation in the South China Sea has the potential to end very, very badly. If you still aren't convinced that you should care about this election, it has some resemblance to our current election. But before I get to that, some background. The Philippines is an island nation in Southeast Asia that gained its independence from the US in 1946. However, in 1965, the Philippines elected Ferdinand Marcos president. He would later declare martial law and become a violent, oppressive, authoritarian leader. This ended in 1986 when Marcos fled the country after Corazon Aquino, the widow of a slain opposition leader, was defeated in a fraudulent election and riots ensued. Aquino formed a new government and became president. Since the overthrow of Marcos, political power has been bouncing around among several different families, creating a sort of political class. The current president, Aquino, son of Corazon Aquino, has increased the economic growth rate of the country to 6%, a remarkable feat. However, the poverty levels in the country remain unchanged, which is a concern to some, but he would likely be re-elected if the Constitution didn't restrict the president to one 6-year term. The Philippines have a multi-party system and a first-past-the-post voting system, meaning whoever gets the most votes wins, and the president and the vice president are elected separately. There are 5 presidential candidates. I'm going to talk about the top 3, mainly because I don't have time to talk about all 5. Grace Poe was adopted by 2 movie stars and then emigrated to the US and became a preschool teacher in the 1990s. Her political career was launched when she went back to the Philippines in 2004 to help her father run a failed presidential campaign. She is currently a senator, and there was a question about her eligibility for the presidency concerning her time in the US, but those have been discredited. She has focused on fighting poverty and has laid out a clear 20-point plan on what she will do if she wins. Mar Rojas is the grandson of the first president of the Philippines, a former New York investment banker, Filipino congressman, senator, secretary of Trade and Industry, Secretary of Transportation and Communication, and the current Secretary of the Interior and Local Government. He has the endorsement of the current president and has said he will address poverty. But by far, the most decisive candidate is Duterte. He has been the mayor of Davao, the Philippines' third largest city, for 22 years, and is considered a political outsider, not being descended from any of the political dynasties. Duterte has a tendency to be brutally blunt, saying such things as his position of mayor should have allowed him to be the first one to rape an Australian missionary who was kidnapped, raped, and killed. Duterte has claimed that if elected president, he will end crime, corruption, and illegal drugs in 6 months. How? By killing all the criminals. As wild as this claim may be, he might be able to back it up. His administration in Davao changed the city from murder capital of the Philippines to one of the safest cities in the country, primarily by the extralegal killing of criminals and suspected criminals. Duterte's actions have earned him the nickname the Punisher and Duterte-Harry. And yes, I did just make this video so I could say Duterte-Harry. Some herald him as a change the Philippines need, while others worry that he will bring the country back to the era of Marcos and authoritarianism. By far, the most amazing thing about this election is that Duterte is expected to win the presidency, and that Bongbong Marcos, yes, that is what people call him, the son of Ferdinand Marcos, yes, the authoritarian dictator that was ousted in 1986, is likely to win the vice presidency of the country. What this election clearly tells us is that the problems that the US is currently facing with its election are not just American problems. They are democratic problems. Now, I'm not at all advocating for the desertion of democratic government, but we must be willing to address these problems and work to fix them. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later.